afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. And hard to believe it's almost the end of the summer already. Just had a busy season with beach photos. Like 2 weeks, or was it? I lose track. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it rained literally for a whole entire week. So that whole week got washed out. Then it was 3 weeks. The following week, pushed some people through. So that was a busy week. I had a bunch of catch up and a bunch of families to go through on that week. This week I had a couple of families, and I was just texting one of the people I have for next week. I think I just have one or two groups left though, and that's the end. I'm like, that's it? Like you get into this mad scramble, and then it's like over. I'm looking over, it's the approaching the end of August. It's the late middle part of August, getting towards the end of August. It seems like summer starts ending earlier and earlier. I know in some places kids go back to school now in the middle of August, so summer ends like way earlier. It's not even like September anymore, so I think people vacation earlier, so things wrap up earlier. But it goes fast, and the funny thing is, it's getting to be towards the end of the summer, then the boudoir inquiries start coming back in, and already can't see. Got two on my phone, so I got one today, one came in earlier, and people start contacting you again for boudoir inquiries. So it's just funny. You don't hear a lot. I don't get many inquiries in the summer. Then as soon as the summer ends, all of a sudden the fall brides start coming in. Even Christmas stuff starts coming in, and people come out of the woodwork looking for scheduled sessions. And there's like not much going on, and then suddenly you're trying to mad schedule like a bunch of people, and then by the time it gets to Christmas, it's like crazy and bizarre. So it's weird how that all goes. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't get too much of a rest anymore, but it's fun. It keeps me going. So getting ready to schedule some people for the fall. Gonna try to sneak in a day to shoot some videos for me, because I want to add some new video clips to my website, just for like the header videos or for me to use. So I reached out to a few people to see if they want to grab a day in September. We'll go in, and it's more of a work day than anything else, because I have things I plan out, and I know certain shots that I want to do. So people are there to work. They're there to work and shoot a few short clips for myself. And that's, I think, what's in my immediate plan for the next few weeks. And speaking of boudoir videos, as I sip my, I don't even know what I'm drinking. Let's go and grab this. Pepsi with real sugar. Stop drinking soda, Mike. I know. I felt I needed an afternoon boost, so I grabbed one of those. But speaking of all that video stuff, that brings us to our topic for today. Talking about videos. So our question today has to do with boudoir videos. And the question for today is, what's the story with boudoir videos? Sounds fun. Can you tell me a bit more about them? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's really been something that's grown in popularity for me noticeably, I'm going to say, over the past 4 years or so. There were times when, like years ago, I do these one-offs, or a woman would come in and just, do you think we could shoot a little video? Or, we're just kind of in the middle of the session. It wasn't really like kind of a planned thing. I didn't really have the best camera at the time for doing videos. Like, I guess it worked, but I hardly used it. I had other video cameras I used, like the original, like Nikon DSLRs I used, I guess weren't like the best for video and like focusing. So I was like, And that really all changed. Things like started to go to mirrorless 4 years ago or so. It was just so easy. And so the more you do it, you get a little bit you get a little bit better at it, excuse me. And what happened like over the past 4 years or so, just became, more people asking about videos, doing way more videos, people contacting me just to do video sessions. And I guess also too, the more you show of that on your website, the more people see it and the more they want to do it. So a lot of people are curious about it. So just going to give like sort of a brief overview about what that is today. So everybody who has maybe not heard about it or heard about it knows a little bit more about what goes on with a boudoir video. So we'll keep this episode short. If you haven't listened, go. Last week's was a very long episode for our new format, in air quotes for those of you watching on video. We're trying to keep this shorter. That went pretty long. We were talking about, is it really worth it to pay $5,000 for a boudoir photographer? So if you haven't, go check out last week's episode. It was a good episode. And this week we're trying to keep it a little bit more short and concise. As you can see, I have a habit and a passion for getting into these things, and I kind of talk and talk and talk, but hopefully it's useful information for you. So with boudoir videos, I would imagine that there are quite a few photographers now who shoot boudoir video. It may not be something you may see on their website, but it's worth asking. And usually one of the common questions is like, what are you doing? Like, what are these women doing in these videos? Or it's curious, but I don't know. Do I have to act? Is there a script? You give me a script. Do I have to memorize lines? They're like a director, so women don't really fully understand the process. They're curious about it, but they don't know really what's entailed in that. And really, the easiest way I explain it to a client or someone who's asking me about it is it's really, in its simplest form, just like a boudoir picture, but it moves a little bit. On its most basic form, we don't try to overcomplicate it. Geez, what's going on with me today? At least I don't. And it can be as simple as a woman staring near a window, maybe by a curtain, with a camera slowly going down her body. Maybe she's brushing her hair or doing subtle motion and not necessarily looking at the camera. But often in their simplest form, they may be just short clips, maybe 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute or so of some simple panning. Could have someone lying in a bed and going across their body or moving kind of a little bit. So there are no dialogue or lines per se in these videos. It's just usually a slow panning across a body or somebody walking in high heels or some simple motion, kind of like an Instagram reel or something like that. We keep it simple within the confines of the workspace we're in, the bedroom that we're working in, and keep it boudoir, keep it cute, keep it fun, keep it interesting, and most of all, keeping it simple for the client. We don't want any complex gymnastics. Like I said, there's no memorization or super acting that goes on. Just keep it fun. And one thing you have to understand, boudoir is about fun and having fun. So it's just, your photographer should keep that part enjoyable and fun like the rest of your session and not make it feel too much like work. There's no dialogue. You may be moving a little bit. Like the one thing that may take a little getting used to, I found for some of the women coming in, like when you're doing a photo, your photographer may pose yours, like, stay still, don't move, you keep that pose and push and do this. And so women are used to just like saying still, and just the one thing when you're doing a video, you don't want to be like super still because that kind of looks weird in a move. So it takes a little bit of practice. You've been being told to stay still for all your pictures. Now, really, you want to be slowly moving a bit. You don't have to go crazy, but you want to keep your arms moving, or whatever you're doing if you're lying down, something moving, so the camera isn't panning across something that is just so still the whole time. So you just want to incorporate a little motion, which takes women a bit to get used to, but that's about as hard as it gets. And usually put some cute music on it, and sometimes it's in slow motion, and it's really cute. The women like it, guys like it, whoever sees it likes it. So it's been fun to do, and more requests to do these videos. And of course, the more you show them, the more people see them, and they want to do them. And you're thinking, all right, Mike, what are some ideas that women are doing? Well, like I said, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. A lot of them are just standing in place, walking into a room, rolling around on the bed. We do some like undressing where the woman may have a dress on and it's like slowly taking things off. And, so simple ideas, doesn't have to be overly complicated. So that's one whole part of it. So no kind of real complicated mechanics involved in doing that. It just fits into the session. Your photographer may need some extra gear. They're going to need, a video camera or a mirrorless or DSLR that shoots video. And if you're like me, or you're like, ooh, you need something, either a tripod or they're going to have something to keep that camera steady. So when you're looking at the video, it's not going shaking all over the place. But that's up to them. But yeah, it's worth doing. Now, the other part that sort of caught me off guard, to be honest with you, we have these shorter videos, and then there seems to be things that go the very extreme, which are long, which can go up to 8, 9 minutes, 7 minutes, which is long for a video, and they can get more involved. And I personally kind of, I didn't really have a system for video at first because it was also new, but it seems like over time there seems to be really short videos or way longer ones. And so I started calling them teasers, like the short ones are features, the longer ones, your photographer may vary. And then what really caught me off guard at first was, in the course of boudoir, there's always women that come in that want to do something a little wilder or a little crazier. And, in my universe, there's always like nudity involved, or women started bringing in like vibrators, and you're always like, how do I make this look cute in a video? And how do we, so there was always that group, but people want to do that, and hey, if you want to do it. And then once videos started gaining in popularity, seemed like a lot of women came in and wanted to do these very personal style videos for their partners. Namely, the longer videos, a lot of them are like masturbation videos. Caught me a bit like sort of off guard. I wasn't expecting, that to really be such a big chunk of what was being produced. And it wasn't even something that was kind of like suggested. It was sort of like, while we're here, what my husband would really get a thrill out of seeing? And I'd be like, and then it went on, and the next went on, and it happened after session after session after session after session, to where it slowly kind of became by far the number one style boudoir video that was shot. I don't have a great explanation for this or why, but women seem to come in, have this comfort or have this fun doing this. And so the longer videos tend to be more erotic in nature. I don't know how the AI is thinking. I don't want to say the words, but the M word is kind of, like I said, very integral in that. And they typically tend to be much longer, meaning multiple scenes, kind of. It's called a scene. Whereas a shorter teaser video, just me, not too many different cuts or angles or stuff like that. But for the longer videos, there could be a woman walking into a room. And there could be another scene where she's slowly undressing and you cut there. And then there could be another angle or something where she's climbing onto a bed. So they become a bit more complicated. There's more shots and angles going on with these videos. And again, they tend to run much longer, up to 8, 9, 10 minutes or so. So those are the two that I found that very distinct kind of videos being shot. The shorter ones are the ones that are much more involved and take longer. So that's fun to do as well. It does take a bit longer, like I said, to go through and create those. And the one thing about creating a bit of a longer video like that too is you may be shooting the same thing from two different angles. So sometimes there's some repetition. Okay, walk over to the bed, and then I'm going to go to another side of the room and walk over to the bed again, so we can get it from two different angles, and that way you can get like two different views. So sometimes in there, again, without making it seem overly complicated, the longer videos may be a bit more involved. And then, afterwards, they are a lot more work to kind of put together, because you're editing way more shots and video to put into kind of a comprehensive story. So with the longer ones, of course, comes an increased cost, because there's a lot more that goes involved to editing a video than a single photo. So again, if your videos are longer, if you have some ideas, talk to the photographer you're working with and find out how they charge for videos or how they tend to operate. But generally speaking, the longer it goes, the more involved it is. And if they're charging you by the length, there could be more cost sort of involved. And, and since then, like I said, my voice is suddenly so bad. It's just so interesting. It's like this burst of fresh air came in once videos hit. And I have clients that come in now just for videos, and not even just one time, but repeat clients. They show them to their partner or the husband who loves them, and then they come back, and I've got a bunch of new ideas, and women come in with these ideas that again seem to get more complicated and complicated. Like I've done this year kind of like voyeur scenes where someone came in and the idea was like someone was looking in on this woman and she didn't know this person was there, kind of a hidden person, and things go on. And I would have never thought of something like that. And women come in with these interesting ideas, and then it's up to the photographer to kind of try to, in the space that you have available, and to put them together and kind of turn these things into reality for the client. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. But really, when it comes to doing the videos, if that's something that's interest to you to go out on your session, remember, there's shorter ones, not a lot, outfit, rolling around on a bed or standing or walking into a room, panning down a body, and it can be done really quick. The longer ones, if you have in mind, sometimes you do want to come up with a bit of an idea, do a longer undressing video, walking into the room, slowly taking off your outfit. Maybe there's laundry out underneath, walking around to another side of the bed, and maybe you're taking that off, or crawling into a bed and luxuriating in a couple of angles. So it's fun to do. And just, I would say, if you're going in and doing something longer, have an idea in mind. If you have that level of comfort, the M videos are certainly in my universe, like I said, super popular and happen all the time. I understand that's not for everybody, but there are lots of ideas to go in and do as for videos, and people seem to enjoy it. And then, like, the one question I would get is, all right, I get it, you're doing a photo book and you can physically hand the book to somebody and it's something tangible. How do I give somebody a video? Like, what do you do? And how do you give the video? And it was something a little puzzled me at first. And then I was with one client, I think she was a repeat client that came in. She goes, you know what I did? I got my husband into the living room or the TV room, wherever we normally sit down and watch TV and popcorn or whatever, and sat there. And he thought they were sitting down to watch the Netflix. And to his surprise, she turned on her feature video of her walking into the room, hopping into the bed with her favorite gizmo, and I'm sure you can imagine the rest. And the husband was kind of like thrilled and excited to see that. And so doing it kind of as a presentation like that is a fun idea. I think it, because you're filming these again in HD, it really looks great on a big screen. Kind of loses some of the impact. You certainly can share them on a smaller screen, but viewing them larger like that is really fun. Of course, you need a personal space, a private space to do that, but that's a fun way to share that kind of thing with somebody, because there isn't really a tangible thing to giving. So you kind of want to share that experience. And let me tell you, it's just, for me, And I was following up with a bride just late last week about after her wedding. I send a follow-up usually a couple weeks after to make sure everything was okay. And he loved it. He loved the videos. I can't wait to come in and do more. So like I said, it's a big hit. It's a big fan of not only the women who love doing it, but whoever is the husband or the boyfriend, whoever's these getting the videos also love it. And so I would say in your area, yeah, if you're near a photographer who's doing that, it's well worth trying. It's a lot of fun. It's not any more difficult than doing a boudoir photo. They don't have to be super, wild or crazy, but there are plenty of women who do want to go down that road. You could just keep it simple and short and boudoir, and those are fun to do. So it's really something new and something interesting that has really taken off over the past couple of years. So if you're going into a session this fall or for Christmas, I would recommend asking about it with the person you're working with and giving it a shot. It's a lot of fun to do. And it also complements your album or photo book. A lot of my sessions now mix. We do our picture part, and then the second part is a video part. We shoot some videos and they kind of go really well together. So it's definitely worth doing. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing you have to prepare for. You don't have to memorize lines. It's nothing complicated to do on your part. Again, just like the photos, you're putting most of the work in the hands of the photographer that you're working with, and they do all the magic kind of afterwards and edit it into a cute video that you can keep and share with your partner. That's enjoyable. So women love it. It's great. So I would say do it if you get a chance for your next session. And that's about it for this episode. Ran a little long again today, but I wanted to give you some information. And again, always ask your photographer if they offer this and how long they've been doing it. And that's the point of the show. I always like to bring up, you'd think that finding a photographer is easy. Go back and listen to a few episodes of this show, and you'll see it's not so easy. It takes a little bit of work. You want everyone to be safe. Get with an experienced photographer. That way, you have a great experience and you walk away with photos or videos that you can enjoy for years to come. So that's what we got for you this week. Have fun going out and shooting your boudoir videos. I'm going to get the heck out of here, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.